going to give it 1 second here to see if we have some people pop in, and then I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
All right, welcome to the virtual college exploration for all West Virginia students from the West Virginia ACRO Association and StriveScan. We thank you so much for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your cameras and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see nor hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at WVACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within a week on the same website. A website again is WVACRAO.org. I'd like to now turn it over to our presenters. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining me this evening. My name is Stephanie Ostrowski. I'm an admissions representative for the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics. Yes, we are the Pittsburgh Institute, but we do have 4 branch campuses, which we'll talk about today. We have four campuses in total, which we'll talk about today, all known as PIA, the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics. So what we do at PIA is a lot of really fun, cool stuff. We teach students how to work with aircraft, how to work with tools, how to build planes, and how to make sure they're mechanically safe to fly in the sky. So that's all the great stuff that we're going to talk about today. Again, my name is Stephanie Ostrowski. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for joining me. Let's hop into it. So we're going to start off with a really quick history. PIA has been around now for 91 years, actually. It's been 91 years training aircraft maintenance technicians, but our history dates back much farther than that to one of the Wright brothers. One of the Wright brothers helped find what is now known today as the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics. And this history that dates back to the Wright brothers very proudly, this history makes PIA one of the oldest and most recognized schools of its kind in the entire world. This is a really unique opportunity that we have here. So we do have 4 campuses that I briefly mentioned. Pittsburgh, of course, is our main campus. They do things a little bit differently there, which we'll talk about as we work our way throughout the presentation. Branch campus is in Youngstown, Ohio, about an hour outside of Pittsburgh. I am located in Hagerstown, Maryland, and then there is also a campus in Myrtle Beach. So this is what we are at PIA, and this is exactly what we do. This is a private school. We are not for profit. And what we do here is called aircraft maintenance training. Okay, here's what we don't do. We do not teach you how to fly. There's no pilot training. Planes are not coming off the ground. This is all about aviation maintenance. I like to sum it up into 3 things. You want to come to PIA, you're going to learn how to build planes, how to repair planes, and how to make sure planes are mechanically safe to fly in the sky. Where I am located in Hagerstown, Maryland, it's a 16-month program. 16 months of training with us on campus in Hagerstown about aircraft maintenance, and you will walk out of the door with a license that is under the Federal Aviation Administration. It's an exam that you will take at the end of our 16-month training. The license that you earn is under the Federal Aviation Administration, and it allows you to work on anything that flies. Okay, so PIA is affiliated with everything here on this screen. I'm not necessarily going to go over every single symbol, but I mentioned the FAA. That is very, very important. They essentially watch our every move. We are fully accredited by the Accrediting Commission for Career Schools and Colleges. And this really great wiggly headline I have up here at the top is our ranking. Forbes ranked PIA the #1 trade school in the country. We are very, very proud of this recognition. It's a great opportunity for you. It's the #1 trade school in the country. And so that's just the quick headline. I will talk more about that ranking and what it means and how we got it as we work our way throughout the presentation. Here's what PIA is not. A giant stadium-style seated classroom for lectures with laptops in front of you is not what we do at PIA. What we are going to do is spend time in the shop. We are going to learn while we do, spending time in the shop, working with tools, reading meters, building, fixing, repairing aircraft, lots of projects. Now, look, we still have classrooms, okay? We still have book work, there's still some tests, some studying, right? All that stuff stays the same, but we are also going to spend a lot of time in the shop. It's the majority, it's about 60% of your time on campus that is going to be spent in the shop. We do a lot of things in small groups to simulate how you actually work in this industry. And if you're that type of student where Maybe you like to tinker, maybe you're just interested in how things work from the inside out. I don't need you to have any prior experience in knowing how to work with cars or anything of the like, but an interest, a desire to learn a technical skill. That's the type of student that I'm looking for here. Maybe you are an on-the-go kind of guy or girl. You like to kind of have every day be different. Maybe you don't want to sit at a desk. Fast-paced, busy type of work environment. That's the type of student that I'm looking for here. Okay? Some statistics before we get to some other fun stuff. Part of the reason why I am here today is because of this little pie chart right here. We're going to work our way from the bottom up. 2% of the people that have these jobs in aviation maintenance are under the age of 30. So that means this whole blue piece of my pie here, this represents an older generation of people that have these jobs. They're getting older, they're going to retire. And this little sliver tells us we have a shortage in this industry. We need you guys, we need young people to be able to come into this industry and take over these jobs as this older generation of people gets closer and closer to retirement. It is a big deal. We have really no young people in this industry. So what does that mean as far as jobs go? Not percentages, but how many jobs are we talking about here? First of all, let me preface by saying this statistic that I'm going to share here, these numbers come from Boeing. Boeing is the largest manufacturer of aircraft in the world, and they're the ones that are doing research on this industry. They're concerned about who's going to take over these jobs. So they come up with this year over year. This is a technician outlook that goes throughout the next 18 years as that older generation of people gets close to retirement. All in all, around the world, well over 500,000 jobs. North America alone here pushing almost 200,000 jobs that they are expecting just in the technical side, the aviation maintenance side. My bottom line is that we have a lot of jobs, right? If you want to learn a technical skill and you want a job, this is a great place to do it because we have a lot of jobs here. So sometimes I get the question, and it is why? Where's the young people going? How come they're not coming to the aviation industry? Okay, well, there's been a big push for students in this country to go to four-year colleges. And look, four-year colleges, they're great. They're wonderful, okay? But part of this industry has really suffered from that push because while we're encouraging young people to go to college, and that's great, but there's a lot of us that aren't really encouraging young people to learn how to build things, how to fix things, and how to work with their hands. And that has a lot to do with how we got here today. Technical skills just really lacking in this younger generation. Moving on, what is an aviation maintenance technician, also known as an AMT, which you will hear that referred to throughout this presentation, an aviation maintenance technician. Their job is to make sure that the aircraft is mechanically safe to fly in the sky. Really important, good stuff. We need these people to make sure planes are safe to fly. And also these individuals, they are the glue that holds this entire industry together. Because did you know everything that flies, okay, with the exception of experimental aircraft, but everything that flies has to first be inspected by a licensed technician before it takes off the ground. So these jobs are needed, they're important, and they have to make sure that planes are safe and ready, everything that flies. Next, what I have for you is a quick clip about what an AMT does. This is going to show you a little bit more about their day-to-day, what their responsibilities are as an aircraft maintenance technician.
When you think of a career as a mechanic, often the first thing that comes to mind is working in an auto shop, doing the repair and maintenance on our everyday vehicles. But what about those vehicles that travel thousands of miles in mere hours, transporting goods and people across the world as part of their everyday commute? Aviation maintenance technicians are the men and women who ensure the safety and reliability of our aircraft each day. Before a plane takes off, an AMT has worked tirelessly to ensure that the aircraft is mechanically safe to fly by diagnosing mechanical and electrical problems, completing routine inspections, repairing damage to wings, landing gears, and other components, and certifying that aircraft meets the standards set forth by the FAA. This work is led by an elite group of professionals known as AMP mechanics, who train for a minimum of 1,900 hours to understand the complex and unique systems that make up an aircraft, working on planes, jets, drones, blimps, helicopters, or rockets. Their highly specialized skill set makes them sought after employees, not only in the aviation sector, but in many non-aviation related fields. If you are seeking a career that is fast-paced, challenging, and hands-on, then a career as an aviation maintenance technician might be right for you.
Okay, the ranking. PIA is the #1 trade school in the country, and here is why. First of all, let me preface by saying no one had ever done this before. Forbes, they were the first folks to look at every technical trade school in the country, and they ranked the top 25 for all these reasons listed here. Things like, did the graduates get jobs after they graduated? Was this education affordable? Did the people who start this program actually complete this program? And things about the student experience. Was there actual real good quality equipment to work on? And also their faculty plays into that as well. And the return on investment. Did I find that my salary and my career helped sustain that tuition that I put into this education, return on investment? Forbes found yes, yes, and yes to all these things, and they named PIA the #1 trade school in the country. We are very proud of this recognition. It's a great opportunity for the right person, right? This type of education and career, not for everyone, but for the right individual, it's a great place to do it. It's the best. It's the #1 school of its kind in the country. You'll notice here, this says 2018. There has not been a new ranking done by Forbes since, and we are hanging on to that 2018 #1 trade school in the country. Very, very proud of that recognition. Okay, one of my most frequently asked questions, of course, is how much money am I going to make as an aircraft maintenance technician? Here we go. Your first job after graduating PIA from the Hagerstown Maryland campus, which is where I am located, salaries look like this, somewhere between $37,000 and $49,000 a year. What this is $18 to $24 an hour, okay? Somewhere in that range for your first job after graduating. Now remember, this is a 16-month program out of the Hagerstown campus. 16 months, if you choose to come right out of high school, you know, you're barely not even 20 years old by the time you graduate. And this is good. This is an okay starting salary, right? It's okay, but it gets better. What I need from you, I need 3 years of work experience. In 3 years, the national median salary for aircraft technicians is over $63,000 a year. I think we're talking about pretty respectable, decent, livable salaries here, right? Especially if you consider, you have to keep in mind that this is a 16-month program. I have a little fine print here. Overtime is likely. I gave you the statistics early on, right? There's not a lot of young people in this industry. We have 2% under the age of 30 doing these jobs. And that means there's a shortage and you can work overtime. You know, I don't know how much. It's going to be different. All companies and places are going to be different amounts of overtime, but I do want to make a note that overtime is not included here. That is going to be extra added money to what you are seeing here on the screen, okay? All right, well, let's do a really, really quick history lesson here. You all know, at least I hope, you all know that the Wright brothers flew the first flight in 1903, Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, beautiful Outer Banks beaches. That first flight lasted for 12 seconds and it covered 120 feet. That's it. That's all it took for the Wright brothers to create history and to begin the era of flight. They actually took off the ground 4 times on this day, December 17th, 1903. There were 4 takeoffs, and this was 12 seconds. This was their last and their most successful flight that day. 12 seconds is all it took for them. So what I like to do is kind of a comparison, a then and now comparison of how far we've come in aviation and technology since the Wright brothers. Got a couple fun facts here as far as cargo goes. In 24 hours of cargo flying, there will be over 80,000 flowers transported. 20 million packages will be sent. 1.1 million smartphones are going to make their way around the world, 24 hours of cargo. Race horses also, they have to travel somehow. 200 race horses will travel in a day. 898 million letters will be sent, and all of this is to the tune of $18.6 billion. A lot of money in this industry, especially in cargo. It really helps make the world go round. A little then and now comparison, how far we've come in aviation and technology. My next little fun fact, a little trivia that I have here for you guys. This is a jet, Boeing 787. Again, Boeing is the largest manufacturer of aircraft in the world. We do have a relationship with them. They will hire you. They've hired our PIA grads here in the recent past. Those jobs, though, just a little quick note, Seattle, Washington, okay? Pretty far away from home, maybe for most of us, but still a great opportunity nonetheless to work for the largest manufacturer of aircraft in the world. So the electrical capacity of one of these aircraft, a 787, can power up to, what do you think? 400 homes. That's a lot of electricity in one of those aircraft. 400 homes can be powered off of that one aircraft. You are going to learn about aircraft electrical systems with us at PIA. You're going to have a semester of courses where you're going to learn about the wiring and the electricity and how they support the aircraft. You know, some aircraft, depending upon the size, can have miles and miles of wiring just in their wings alone. And you're going to learn about those aircraft electrical systems. Okay, so a day at PIA is going to look like this. You are going to have some practical hands-on training, spending time in the shop, right? You're going to work on live aircraft and engines, and you will have experienced faculty guiding you along the way. This is aviation-based training with a transferable skill. I like to put a really, really great emphasis on this last bullet point here. This is a transferable skill. When you come to PIA, you're learning specifically on aircraft, right? But these are skills that you can use in other industries that have absolutely nothing to do with aviation. They'll hire you because what you have is a skill. You're smart, and you can work on different types of technology. We have grads go on to work in manufacturing and robotics. This is a great stepping stone to engineering. Learning how to do things with your own two hands is a really great skill. It's allowing our grads to do things outside of aviation. And we're going to come back around to talk more about transferable skills as we get a little bit towards the end, and how specifically how it has related to our grads during this pandemic. So we'll get there, but just want to make a quick note about that transferable skills. Hang on to that in your head for a moment, and we'll talk about it again shortly. Really important note. Next, what I have is a cool short clip. This is a pretty short clip, mostly footage of our Pittsburgh campus about what it looks like in a day at PIA in the shop. Beautiful hangar there at the Pittsburgh campus. So why aircraft technicians are needed? Your jobs and your responsibilities can look like this. We do general maintenance in our cars, right? We do the same thing in our aircraft. But here, aircraft, they have to be perfect. There are no room for errors, except of course, you know, accidents happen. These accidents here resulted in no serious injuries, just so you know, but this is why aircraft technicians are needed, to make all different types of repairs with unanticipated accidents that happen. There's wildlife, birds and planes. They share the skies and they can collide. It's not very pleasant to think about, I'm sorry, but it does happen. And this is why we need these folks on the ground. Weather, that was wind, hail, and now lightning that you were seeing. Weather can cause damages on aircraft. This lightning strike here, my little fun fact, it looks scary, looks petrifying, but it's really not a big deal. Commercial jets, they are built, they are structured to be able to withstand a lightning strike. This aircraft will continue flying and landing. It is really not a big deal. It is built for it. You're going to come to PIA and you're going to learn about how aircraft are built with the types of materials, the metal, aluminum, and that's what makes this aircraft a great conductor of energy. That lightning strike will basically go right through the aircraft. The lightning will continue its path down towards the earth as if it didn't even come in contact at all. Little fun fact there. Okay, what I'd like to do now is put up on one page exactly what we do at PIA. This is what we teach our students. The name of the program is called Aviation Maintenance Technician. It will take you 16 months out of the Hagerstown campus where I am located. The license that you earn upon graduation is called Airframe and Power Plant. This license is under the Federal Aviation Administration, and it will allow you to work on anything that flies under the FAA. So airframe and power plant, let's take a moment. We're going to break that down. What is airframe and power plant? What does that even mean? If you choose to come to PIA, this is what we will teach you about. Airframe is the outside, it's the metal body structure of the aircraft. So airframe is where you are going to learn how to work with sheet metal. You're going to do some welding. We do have welding booths on campus. You will not get certified in welding, but what you have to do is learn the difference between a good weld and a bad weld and how to make those repairs on the spot. It's mostly oxyacetylene is the type of weld that you're going to learn how to do with us. You are going to learn how to work with composite and also fiberglass. These are lightweight materials that aircraft are made out of. And then all the components of the landing gear are also known as airframe. Power plant. Power plant is just another way to say engine. On campus, we have all different types of aircraft engines. You as students, you're going to come to PIA, you're going to learn all about these engines. You will take them apart. You are going to identify and you will measure. Precision measurements are huge in aviation because aircraft have to be perfect every single time they take off the ground, right? So you're going to take these engines apart, you'll identify, you'll measure every single piece, you're going to put them back together again. You're going to roll these engines outside of the hangar and you make sure that they are going to start up. What you are is a problem solver, you're a troubleshooter, and I mentioned you're going to work in small groups to simulate how you actually work in this industry. In addition to what you see on this screen, airframe and power plant, you're going to take some courses in electronics as well, right? So on one page, this is what we teach our students, aircraft maintenance technician in 16 months. Out of the Hagerstown campus. Our 3 branch campuses have this same program as well. Youngstown, Ohio, and Myrtle Beach are also doing this 16 months airframe and power plant license. Pittsburgh, they do things just a little bit differently there. In Pittsburgh, you can still take the airframe and power plant in Pittsburgh, right? But in addition to that, they have this program, which is called Avionics Technician. Avionics is all the aircraft electricity. Really what this is it's the black boxes. This is the brains of the aircraft. The flight computers, the navigation system, the radar, the flight controls, also all offered out of the Pittsburgh campus. They do things a little bit differently. This is 21 months of training in Pittsburgh. It's a little bit longer than what we offer at the branch campuses because it comes with an associate and specialized technology degree. Okay. A little bit longer of a program, right? Just a short period of time there, 16 versus 21 months. But if you are interested in avionics, in the aircraft electricity and going to the Pittsburgh campus, great opportunity there. And we can talk more about how those programs run, but 21 months avionics. After graduation, whatever program you choose, whether the 16 or the 21 months, it's not a very long time to go to school, right? So I like to put a little bit of emphasis on jobs and how you're going to get one. Career Services is a department of people, and that is their job is to help you find a job. The graduate employment statistics currently stand right here. We'll start in the green, the Hagerstown campus, where I'm at. 95% of our grads are finding jobs in an average of 50 days after graduation. We will help you find a job. Our Career Services department, what they are going to do is help you write your resume one-on-one. We also do mock interviews to help you prepare how to speak in an interview. All 4 of our campuses have employers that come to that campus from all over the country to interview you. Some students, many students don't even leave campus before finding their new jobs. Many students also have multiple job offers. Again, if you want to learn a technical skill and you want a job, this is a great place to do it. 95% of our grads out of Hagerstown getting jobs after graduation. Not bad. If there is a specific city and state that you would like to live in, I really encourage you to check out this on our website, pia.edu/career services. This is an interactive map. It's really great. You can hone in on a specific city and state and see what companies are in that area, if they've hired our grads, how many grads they've hired of PIAs, and it's also color coded by salary as well, so you can get an idea of what those price points are there for those jobs. So if some people have their eye on the end of the game before even starting it, and that's a great thing to do. And if that's you, then check out this website for an interactive map on the companies that hire our grads in those cities and states that you're interested in. Requirements. If you would like to come to PIA, here's what I need from you. Graduate high school or have an equivalent GED, of course. We suggest you've taken math of algebra or higher just to help with your success in the program. Really, we just suggest algebra or higher. We do have math courses involved at PIA, of course, but really this is two birds, one stone. Whatever math it is that you take to graduate high school will suffice. If you still have time, we suggest algebra or higher. Test scores, SAT and ACT scores are not required. I need you to have a desire, an interest in learning a technical skill. These types of test scores don't tell us how good or how bad you're going to be in this type of program, right? And for that reason, we do not need to see them. Your test scores are not required. Also, there's no aviation, no mechanical experience required at all. You're going to learn everything from the ground up. In this type of program, we are going to crawl, walk, run. Everything is going to build upon the next, and there is no prior experience needed. I like to mention background checks. We do have background checks in this industry for jobs, not to become a student, but we have jobs that will require some type of background check. So I like to say, if you want to be in aviation, keep your nose out of trouble. Couple quick examples here, driving record. Let's talk about that for a moment. Many companies will ask for you to have your driver's license because one thing you're going to learn how to do as an aircraft maintenance technician is how to drive an aircraft on the ground. And to do that, these companies want you to be able to drive a car first, so that can come into play. You do need a driver's license. And then also here, federal security clearance. It's about 1 out of every 5 technicians that will need a federal security clearance at some point in their careers. So really important, keeping your nose out of trouble. We've had grads go on to work for Air Force One, Air Force Two, absolutely, federal security clearance is there. We've had grads go on to work for NASA, and that's where some of those top secret security clearances come into play. So in short, keep your nose out of trouble, right? Let's take a moment to talk about the elephant in the room, COVID-19. There has been a downturn in commercial aviation as a result of COVID-19, and this has made our students explore less traditional jobs in the field. Although there are still other aviation industries that like cargo and manufacturing, MRO, where they're basically taking these aircraft apart and they're putting them back together again, all shiny and new. And these types of places still have a need for maintenance technicians even during this pandemic. There are fields outside of aviation that value the airframe and power plant license that is under the Federal Aviation Administration. So all this to say, this is where your transferable skills come into play. There are industries that will hire you. They have absolutely nothing to do with aviation, but when you come to PIA, you are learning a technical skill that you can use in many, many, many other technical areas. If you think about it like this, a jet engine has to be so perfect every single time it takes off the ground that these other companies think, well, hey, maybe you can come here and learn how to work with robotic arms to build memory chips for cell phones. We've had grads that have gone on to work for amusement park rides, Universal Studios, that's it. We've had grads going to work for Universal Studios working on amusement park rides because it's the hydraulics and pneumatics and the landing gear of aircraft are the same thing that are used to run those amusement park rides. There is wind energy. A windmill, or a wind turbine rather, is really just a giant propeller with a motor and a stick in the ground. It's the composite and the fiberglass lightweight materials that aircraft are made out of are the same thing that these wind energy farms are using as well. Just a couple quick examples, but this is where your transferable skills come into play. And also, as far as COVID-19 goes, there was about less than 30% of our grads that were going to work in commercial aviation after graduation. And so that just kind of goes to show there are a lot of jobs as if you want to stay in aviation, which of course a lot of our grads do, but there are still a lot of jobs that are outside of commercial aviation, right? The cargo that we mentioned too, there's a private jet industry as well, and how we're transporting our goods is really important right now. So these folks are still out there, they're still working, our grads are still getting jobs. And two, we all know that this situation is temporary. Okay? We're all going to see it through this. Our international flights will pick back up again someday, and same with the domestic flights happening in our country too. So still jobs. All right, one last time before we wrap it up, I'd like to put up on one page exactly what we do again at the Hagerstown campus where I am. The program is Aviation Maintenance Technology, AMT. We are on campus for 16 months, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2:30. This is a continuous 16 months. There is no real summer vacation. You get about a week in August and a couple of holidays here and there, but this is a continuous 16 months, Monday through Friday on campus with us. The license that you earn, once more, under the Federal Aviation Administration, it is called Airframe and Power Plant, and it will allow you to work on anything that flies under the FAA. Also, one last time, PIA is the #1 two-year trade school ranked by Forbes. There is a really great career readiness quiz on our website, pia.edu. If you click on the admissions tab, this career readiness quiz will ask you some personal questions about your characteristics and help you find out if this could be a good fit for you. If you're kind of on the fence thinking, yeah, that sounds kind of cool, but I'm just not quite sure if it's for me, this is a great place to kind of help you decide that. We have open house 4 times a year. It's a great time to check out campus. The next one is November 7th. It is at 11 a.m. They're always on a Saturday morning. November 7th is the next one. It is going to be online, a virtual event, maybe take about an hour of your time, all in all, but it's a great way to check out campus. We are doing personal tours at all 4 campuses, by appointment only. By appointment only, all campuses having tours. Really, it's very important, especially if you're a very interested senior. Bring your families on campus. It will just be you and an admissions representative. It will be after our campuses close or our students are gone after 2:30. So we'll wait until that time. So there's a minimum number of people in the building, and it would be a great time for you to come on campus to do that by appointment only, all 4 campuses. So this is my last slide of the presentation. I appreciate you for watching me so far. Next steps, if you would like to learn more about PIA, I ask that you capture this QR code with your phone, or if you're watching me on your phone right now and can't quite capture it right away, the website is pia.edu/learn-more. If you would like to get some more information about PIA, this is how you can drop us your email, phone number, snail mail address, whatever you prefer. And we'd like to keep in touch with you as you get closer to that senior year graduation date. I thank you for watching this presentation with me, Stephanie Ostrowski, a PIA admissions representative. My email on the screen, and you can follow me on Twitter, PIA Stephanie O. I appreciate you for joining me today. I would love to answer your questions and keep in touch with you as you work your way throughout that senior year. And thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have a great evening.
All right, thank you. I should probably share my video. Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was great. Thank you all for joining us. When you close your window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. Any feedback is completely welcome, and we hope that you'll provide us some. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to check out the WVACRAO.org website to see this one later and many more. So thank you so much, and hope you guys have a great and wonderful evening. Thank you all.
Thank you.